I want a child of my own too, my husband Jerry spat, his voice dripping with sarcasm. I finally couldn't take it anymore. What are you talking about? Isn't she right here? I retorted, gesturing to the baby in his arms. Until now, I'd been harshly criticized by Jerry for our difficulty in having children. Even now, he was holding my sister's baby in front of me as if to make a spectacle of my perceived inadequacy. Jerry's mouth fell open in surprise. Despite all the evidence, he couldn't possibly be planning to play dumb. I wouldn't let him. I'll make sure you both are the ones who are brought down to hell, I seethed, my voice low and dangerous. My name is Rachel. I'm a 25-year-old homemaker. It all started 3 months ago, just after our marriage. I was preparing dinner, the rich aroma of Jerry's favorite soup filling the kitchen. I'm home, Jerry announced, his voice echoing through the house. I hurried to the entrance to greet him. Welcome back, I chirped. It's your favorite soup today. As I took his bag, a hand clamped down on my shoulder. How was it today? Was today the day? He asked, his gaze piercing. I gasped, my heart pounding, a wave of dizziness washing over me. Answer me, he demanded. I swallowed hard, my mouth dry. It didn't work out this month either. We didn't get a baby, I whispered, my hands clenching into fists. Jerry sighed deeply. Why can't we have a child? He muttered, his tone laced with frustration. I'm sorry, I choked out, but don't make excuses. All my friends had kids right after getting married, thinking of names and buying baby clothes. They all seem so happy. I want children too. Damn it, Jerry snapped, his eyes burning into mine. You're infertile as a woman, aren't you? Maybe you should go see a gynecologist. He snatched his bag back and retreated to his room, leaving me standing there, my heart shattered. I covered my face with my hands, tears stinging my eyes. I too yearned for a child, to bear a new life, to feel its preciousness, to be moved by every little milestone in its growth. But perhaps I wasn't worthy of that. My parents had disappeared before I was even fully aware, leaving me and my twin sister behind, to grow up without knowing parental love. Could someone like me become a proper parent? That fear had always haunted me, but I couldn't give up. If my desire for a child was genuine, surely someday God would grant me this wish. I clung to that belief, waiting for the time to come. Besides, next month was our much-awaited wedding ceremony. Since it was a bit late, my expectations were even higher. All right, I told myself, forcing a smile. Smile. Today was Jerry's birthday. I decorated a cake and prepared a present, my heart filled with anticipation for his return. The doorbell rang, an unusual occurrence. I rushed to open the door, and there stood my twin sister Catherine, radiant in the beauty and style of a movie star. Hi, Rachel, she said, casually brushing her glossy black hair off her shoulders. We were fraternal twins, and our appearances were vastly different. Seeing her, I was taken aback. Catherine, what are you doing here? I asked, surprised. Just came to hang out, she replied, her tone nonchalant. But today is Jerry's birthday, right? I wanted to celebrate just the two of us. Didn't I text you? Realizing her mistake, Catherine apologized. Sorry, I forgot. I just wanted to see you so much. I've been lonely since you got married. Since my marriage, Catherine had been visiting unexpectedly almost every week. No, every 3 days. Because of this, Jerry and I hadn't had much time alone and hadn't been able to have a proper conversation. But when I heard her say she was lonely, I found myself unable to refuse her. After all, we were the only family we had. Hey sis, I'm giving you this bag, Catherine said, handing me a paper bag. I haven't been using it much lately. I peeked inside and gasped. Wow, this is from a famous brand. It's okay, she said with a shrug. I usually give them to my friends. This time it's for you. Take it and go out to dinner with your friends. Oh, right. You don't have friends like I do. She then showed me a photo on her phone. It was a picture of her and over 100 of her friends elegantly enjoying a dinner party. By the way, look at this. The party we had the other day. I chuckled. Catherine, you're such a social butterfly. You're the complete opposite of me, and that's amazing. You're successful in your career, you have money, and you have a boyfriend, right? Well, of course, she said with a boastful smile. This is just the norm for me. I gave a wry smile at her demeanor. What then? I asked, curious. Catherine froze, her eyes fixed on the table. Then she burst into laughter, clutching her stomach. Wait, did you make this cake yourself? She asked, incredulous. Yes, I replied, confused. Is that weird? Everyone knows that people prefer store-bought cakes, she said, shaking her head. You're doing thankless work, sis. It's really sad. She leaned closer, looking at my face with a sweet smile. Well, that's what makes you adorable, I guess. Then her expression suddenly changed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. That's right, I have some news to share, she announced, her voice buzzing with anticipation. I'm pregnant. Remember I said I had news? Of course, we're planning to get married. Sorry for finding happiness before you. A family member becoming happy. I should be happy. I should be congratulating them. But inside me, something dark was brewing. Time flew by in an instant. Today was the long-awaited wedding day. We had chosen a small local church as the venue. It was somewhat modest, but we wanted to save as much money as possible for the children we hoped to have one day. After getting dressed in my wedding gown, I was spending a calm moment in the dressing room. But that peace was shattered in an instant. The door burst open. I'm here! Congrats, big sis! Startled, I turned to see my sister. But an even more shocking sight awaited me. Hi, Catherine. That outfit, what's up? I swallowed hard, my voice trembling. You shouldn't wear white to a wedding. My sister was wearing a pure white dress. Catherine apologized exaggeratedly. Sorry, I tried to avoid it, but I just fell in love with this dress. And besides, she smirked, it suits me, doesn't it? She posed proudly, tilting her head as if to look down on me. Then she looked me over, her eyes critical. Is that handmade? It looks more like a dress than a gown. It doesn't have the usual fluffy dress shape. Yes, I said, my voice small. I like this designer who made it especially for me. It's embroidered with my favorite flowers. Catherine smiled, her lips tight. Wow, that's nice for you. Embroidery gives off an old lady vibe, but it suits you, so I guess it's fine. Thank you. I forced a smile, my heart sinking. Hey, it's time, Jerry said, entering the dressing room. You look beautiful. Not a single word of that was directed at me. I let out a deep sigh, my hopes for a happy day dwindling. The ceremony went smoothly and the reception began. Now we'll have a speech from a family member, the announcer declared. Catherine stepped up to the microphone, instantly captivating the attention of everyone in the room. Beautiful! Gorgeous! I wish I could marry someone like her! Murmurs rippled through the crowd, their gazes drawn to her beauty and figure. Nice to meet you. I'm Catherine, her sister, she began, her voice clear and confident. Today there are a few empty seats, but thank you all for coming. The reception had a 30% absence rate. We had prepared seats for Catherine's friends, but none of them showed up. As you can see, my sister doesn't have friends, only about 8 in total. She always spends her holidays cooped up, eating snacks and tapping on her cell phone. Isn't that pitiful? Snickers erupted throughout the venue. I felt the blood drain from my face. Catherine, what are you saying? I whispered, horrified. It's a wedding, a reception. But I love my sister just the way she is, Catherine continued, her voice dripping with faux sweetness. Jerry, please make my sister happy. She flashed an angelic smile and a round of applause erupted. I didn't even want to think about who it was for. After the reception, I called my sister to the dressing room. Why did you say that, Catherine? I pleaded, my voice choked with emotion. The empty seats were for your friends, right? You made it seem like it was my fault. My sister, with a troubled smile, patted my head. Don't be mad. If you worry about such things, life will be hard, won't it? My friend also said it was a nice ceremony. The two of them were nonchalant. Why? How could you? I asked, panicked, my mind reeling. They laughed at me, their laughter mocking, cruel. I was paralyzed by this incomprehensible reality. Soon after, my in-laws arrived. They consoled me and scolded Jerry and my sister. We're truly sorry for our son's behavior, they apologized. I felt a bit relieved, but suspicion towards the two of them began to emerge within me. Little by little, but surely a sense of discomfort was accumulating. 10 months passed. Jerry, my in-laws, and I were heading somewhere by car. Jerry, behind the wheel, was in high spirits. Man, I'm looking forward to this. You feel the same, right, Rachel? I remained silent, looking down, my stomach churning with unease. We arrived at my sister's house. Jerry and my in-laws were excited, crowding around the living room sofa. She's so cute. Glad she was born healthy. At the center was my sister, cradling her baby. Upon seeing me, she rushed over, her face beaming. Look, sis, isn't she adorable? She looks just like me. My sister was radiating happiness. However, her eyes were wide open, enjoying my reaction with a twisted smile. Congratulations, I muttered softly, looking down, my heart heavy. Wow, she's so cute. Can I hold her? Jerry's eyes sparkled as he took the baby. Babies are this cute. Look, Rachel, this is a symbol of happiness. Yeah, what's wrong? Jealous of Catherine? That's why you're not getting pregnant. He smirked at me, flaunting the baby as if she were a trophy. I want a child of my own too, I said, my voice barely a whisper. At that moment, something snapped inside my head. What? What are you talking about? Isn't she right here? I asked, my voice sharp, accusing. Jerry's mouth fell open in shock. The in-laws were wide-eyed and frozen, staring at the baby in Jerry's arms. I made sure everyone could hear each word. She's right there. Your child. The lovely baby of you and Catherine. The atmosphere turned ice cold. Jerry's face drained of color, and Catherine's face contorted in anger. I took out a photo from my bag and scattered it across the floor. The photo clearly showed Jerry and my sister heading into a hotel together. I know everything, I declared, my voice steady. Jerry and Catherine were having an affair. As I spoke, my sister burst out laughing, her laughter brittle and dismissive. Stop it! This must be some kind of Photoshop, right? Don't be ridiculous! The ridiculous one is you, Catherine, I retorted, my voice cold. I suspected you two were up to something, so I installed surveillance cameras in the house. And then, when I wasn't around, I pulled out my phone and started playing a video. The screen displayed Catherine and Jerry in the living room, their affair undeniable. Catherine's face turned beet red. What is this? Stop it! Stop it now! She lunged at me like a madwoman, snatching the phone from my hand. She threw it against the wall with all her might and stomped on it over and over again. The phone screen shattered dramatically, making a strange noise. I watched her with a cold gaze. It's useless, Catherine, I said, my voice calm despite the chaos. Useless? What do you mean? She spat, her voice laced with panic. Jerry, I said, turning to my husband. The father-in-law had grabbed Jerry by the collar. Did you betray Rachel with her sister, no less? You monster. You even had a child. How are you going to take responsibility, you foolish son? The mother-in-law was in tears. Jerry, condemned by his parents, trembled. Wait, we don't even know if the child is mine and Catherine's. Jerry stammered, still not giving up, pleading with his parents. Look, Rachel can't get pregnant at all. A woman who can't bear children isn't fit to be a wife, right? Are you out of your mind? I shot back, my voice laced with disgust. A man who commits adultery is the one who's unfit to be a husband. But that's... Jerry averted his gaze, unable to meet my eyes. Seeing this, the in-laws sighed deeply and looked away. You have something to say too, the father-in-law said, his voice heavy with disappointment. Why did you do such a thing? Betraying your family is a grave sin. Catherine's shoulders jolted. It's not my fault, she cried, her voice shrill. The bad one is you, Rachel. She gritted her teeth, glaring at me with a face like a demon. It's because you stole the person I had my first love with. I had no recollection of such a thing. After our parents left us, I always acted strong, but you were always so whiny. It was so annoying. And yet the person I had my first love with rejected me because he liked why. He felt sorry for you. At that moment, I swore. If you wanted to be pitied so badly, I'd make you truly pitiful. First, I decided to make you feel lonely. I kept telling you our parents are gone. It must be lonely. Then you grew up to be a gloomy kid without any friends, poor thing. Next, I wanted you to feel inferior. I am amazing, you are not. That was my goal. So giving me brand name items and bragging about her many friends were all to make me feel inferior. And probably stealing Jerry too. Now you understand, right? You are beneath me. Betrayed by your husband, hated by your sister, you are the most pitiful woman in the world. Catherine laughed triumphantly, her eyes gleaming with malice, but I felt no emotion. I'm pitiful. I see, that's what you think. I said, my voice flat. Got it. She must have expected me to lose my composure. Catherine stood frozen, her face contorted in a puzzled look. But I don't care about that anymore, I continued, my voice growing colder. Now I just hate you. I loved you so much. And to think you've been manipulating me like this for so long. It's terrible. Too terrible. So I'll return everything you did to me. I mimicked my sister's laugh, a chilling sound that echoed in the room. Catherine recoiled as if she'd seen a monster. Was my face that scary? Both of you just wait and see, I said, my voice low and dangerous. I left the house alone, my heart filled with a cold, hard determination. Months have passed since then. We decided to divorce and Jerry left. Needless to say, he was probably heading to my sister's house. Today I was at a wedding. It was cold, so I wore a thick, long cardigan over my dress, making sure the dress underneath couldn't be seen at all. The church for the ceremony was spacious, filled with over 100 attendees. There were so many people that I couldn't even get a clear view of the bride and groom. The same must have been true for them. The bride and groom made their entrance, and applause filled the air. The priest began the vows. Do you, Jerry, take Catherine as your wife, to have and to hold, in good times and in bad, in wealth and in poverty, in sickness and in health. Today was Catherine and Jerry's wedding. I had found out about my sister's wedding a month after that showdown. Catherine had announced her shotgun wedding with Jerry on social media. That post also mentioned the wedding they had prepared quite early. Probably they had been planning it even before my wedding. That's why my sister didn't invite her friends to my wedding. I didn't create invitations for my sister's friends. Catherine had said she'd make a group chat and confirm the participants herself. She wanted to reduce my burden during the busy wedding preparations. I thought it was a considerate gesture from her. But thinking about it now, she probably never made that group chat. Yet she lied about everyone attending. No one was invited to the ceremony. That's why no one came. Such a simple answer. Thinking back, it seemed Jerry had only invited acquaintances with whom he had a shallow relationship before and after our marriage. I was never introduced to Jerry's close friends. Whether Jerry had been connected with my sister before marrying me or it was just bad timing, the reason would forever remain a mystery. But one thing was for sure. They wanted this to be their first wedding ceremony. They probably wanted to erase all my time with him. How could I accept that? What was all the time I loved Jerry and spent for him? Destroying one person's life to find happiness for themselves was unforgivable. I reaffirmed my determination for revenge as the wedding ceremony concluded and the reception began. Perhaps due to the large number of people, it was a buffet-style party, and the venue was bustling. I kept to the shadows, my eyes scanning the crowd. Now we will present a congratulatory movie, the staff announced proudly. Since the groom's parents couldn't attend today, they've sent us a special video. Please watch. What? Catherine and Jerry were taken aback by this. The venue's screen lit up, showing the in-laws. They were smiling, but their eyes had the sharpness of hunters spotting their prey. It's finally starting, I smirked as I watched the screen. Congratulations on your marriage, Jerry and Catherine, the father-in-law said, his voice laced with a chilling undertone. Congratulations, the mother-in-law echoed, her smile strained. Thank you for coming today, everyone, Jerry said, his voice shaky. As a token of our gratitude, we'd like to give you a gift. Excited murmurs rose from the crowd. What is it, a present? Someone shouted. The mother-in-law interrupted. It's a gift of words. Now it's your turn, Dad, the father-in-law said, his eyes glinting. Leave it to me, the mother-in-law replied, her previously relaxed expression tightening, turning devilish. See the bride there? She's Jerry's mistress, and that mistress is his wife's sister. Do you understand what we're saying? The people standing there aren't a fresh couple, they're adulterers. We will never acknowledge this marriage between these two, and we will sever all ties with them from now on. Stop the video! Jerry's scream echoed as the video abruptly cut off. But it was already too late. The attendees were speechless at the shocking revelation. Jerry stood up and shouted, Everyone, that was just a joke by my parents. It was a bit too provocative, right? The crowd began to murmur. Is that so? That was just... As Catherine began to make her excuses on the microphone, I snatched it from her. It's true, I said, my voice ringing out through the stunned silence. With just that one word, I made my statement. Then I took off the cardigan I was wearing. Beneath it was a white dress. A year ago, I wore this dress when I married Jerry. You remember, don't you, Jerry? I asked, my gaze piercing. As I looked at Jerry, his face turned deathly pale and he froze. I took the opportunity to pull out something from an envelope I had and scattered it around the venue. It was photos of Catherine and Jerry's affair and photos from my wedding with Jerry. The copied photos were enough to be distributed among all the guests. Looking over the chaotic venue, I took a deep breath. After everything was done, I collapsed on the spot, half in a daze. Suddenly, someone grabbed me by the collar. Looking up, I saw Catherine, her eyes wide open as if they were about to pop out, staring at me. "Why are you here? You weren't invited. I didn't tell you the place or the time," she hissed, her voice laced with panic. I burst out laughing at Catherine's panic. "What are you talking about, Catherine? You did tell me on social media, hinting, right? I caught on immediately." Catherine's wedding announcement had, considerately enough, included the date of the wedding. With each update on social media, she detailed the ambiance of the venue and the meticulous care she took in choosing it. It was probably meant to spite me, but that became a clue for me. It was easy to find on the internet. "So social media can be scary, right?" I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "But why were you allowed in the venue? Your name wasn't on the guest list," she demanded, her voice shrill. I sighed and gave the obvious answer. "Because I'm the bride's sister. The receptionist was one of your friends, right? She knew my face, so she let me in. They wouldn't kick out the bride's sister just because she wasn't on the guest list, right? You mean you brought that video? You brought it in secret, saying it was a surprise. We didn't invite those two." "That's right," I replied, my voice calm. "Your parents-in-law sided with me. They came to my house to apologize, saying they couldn't stand to see Jerry and you happy. So we all planned today's event together." I pointed around the venue and laughed. "Look, everyone's leaving." Watching the guests leave, Catherine's face turned pale. "Wait, everyone?" Her friends turned back to her all at once. "Oh, Catherine, why are you leaving? Those photos might be fake, but we don't want to associate with someone who might have committed adultery. Being with you would lower our value." "Value? But we're friends, right?" Catherine pleaded, her voice cracking. "It's rich hearing that from you, after all the brand-name gifts you've used to lure us in?" One of her friends sneered. "Well, we were also friends with you for that reason. That's why we helped you, right? Taking group photos to show off to someone? This can't be happening." "Let me tell you one last thing," I said, my voice cutting through the air. "You've always seen us as just numbers, right? The more the better. You don't care about each of us individually. It must have hit the mark." Catherine bit her lip hard, her face pale. "Goodbye, Catherine," her friends said, their voices cold. They turned and left, leaving Catherine alone in the now silent and deserted venue. There sat Catherine on the floor, Jerry holding his head in his hands, and me strangely calm. "Well then, Catherine, see you around," I said, my voice light. I left the venue, my heart lighter than it had been in months. A few days after Catherine's wedding, I was relaxing at home. However, I knew that this tranquility was only temporary. The doorbell rang. I checked the peephole and opened the door. "Rachel!" Jerry lunged at me, his face contorted with rage. "How dare you pull such a ridiculous stunt? You ruined our happiness! Unbelievable, you wicked woman!" Catherine appeared behind Jerry and pushed me. I hit the wall and slumped to the floor, but that didn't matter to me. "You two never learn," I murmured in a cold voice. "But it's good you came to me." "What?" Catherine crossed her arms and looked down at me. "Jerry, check your email," I said, my voice calm. "There's important information in there." I had sent an email just before opening the door. I made sure to attach photos and videos. "Photos and videos? You're doing that again?" Jerry picked up his cell phone with a look of annoyance. His face gradually turned red with anger. He swung around, thrusting the screen at Catherine. "Catherine, who's this old guy?" The photos showed Catherine in flashy, revealing clothes, holding hands with several older men. The video captured her entering and exiting hotels with them and receiving money. "Sugar dating, right?" I stated flatly. "Catherine, you're always buying brand name items, probably to show off to me, but that's impossible on a regular salary. So I did some digging. It was kind of fun, like being a detective." "Rachel," Catherine's breathing grew ragged. I turned to Jerry, who was looking dejected. Hey Jerry, did you get the DNA test done? What? Didn't I say a DNA test would prove if the child is you and Catherine's? There's no need for that. Because, Jerry gasped. He probably realized the horrifying possibility. Jerry, I spoke clearly and concisely. Whose child do you think it is? At that moment, Jerry pulled Catherine's hand towards him, looking her straight in the eye. He whispered, Catherine, did you betray me? After all you've led me to believe? Even about the child? What are you talking about? That child is yours. Are you doubting me? Of course I am. How can I trust a woman who secretly does sugar dating? You trust Rachel over me, so you'll agree to a DNA test, right? We're going to the hospital tomorrow, okay? Jerry clung to Catherine's hand desperately, wanting to believe her. That is, well, Catherine mumbled, her words barely audible. This reaction was clear evidence. Jerry raked his fingers through his hair in frustration. Damn it! I thought having a beautiful wife would be something to brag about, but look at this mess. You sisters have completely ruined my life. Stomping his feet, Jerry lashed out at the furniture and stormed out of the house. Catherine, who tried to stop him, seemed to be pushed aside and sat slumped on the floor. Looking down at her, I decided to provoke her further. So how do you feel now? Catherine twitched in response. Once the test results are out, Jerry will leave you. And you've lost all your friends, too. I have friends. Not everyone has left me, she cried, her voice cracking. Then what messages did you receive? I asked, my voice sharp. What? Catherine let out a bewildered cry. She probably hadn't expected such a question. Right after the ceremony, I continued, my gaze unwavering. Did anyone show concern? Ask about the situation? Offer you comfort? Catherine uncomfortably averted her gaze from me. I received messages, you know? Even when you tried to disgrace me with that bizarre speech, and when I divorced Jerry. Sure, I only have 8 friends, but every one of them worried and consoled me. Despite having many more friends, no one worried about you, did they? I could hear Catherine grinding her teeth. Abandoned by the man you stole from me, and now friendless, I said, my voice laced with pity. Catherine, that's truly pitiable. I meant every word. Catherine suddenly raised her head and yelled, Pitiable? Me? What are you talking about? That's just your perspective. I'm not pitiable. I'm beautiful, have a great figure, and am valued enough to be spoiled by men. The pitiable one is you, with nothing to boast about. I felt no emotion towards Catherine's outburst and quickly replied, That's right. Then let me say this too, Catherine. You are not above me. Not in the past, not now, and not in the future. What? I often praised you, right? Saying you're amazing for having so many brand name items, for having so many friends. That's what you wanted, right? For me to admit that you were superior? That's right. So what? You know, I've never once thought you were amazing in my life. I glanced at Catherine's bag tossed aside on the floor. I'm not at all interested in brand name items, and I don't care about having a few friends. I've never aspired to be someone with many friends. That's the kind of value I hold. So, Catherine, you were never actually able to get one over on me. No way. You were always saying how envious you were of me, how amazing I was. I said those things to make you happy because we're family, I explained, my voice softening. When someone's bragging with a smile, I wouldn't just dismiss it in a word. I was flattering you. You took it seriously? What? Because I loved you, Catherine. We were the only family we had, and I didn't want to lose you. So I was considerate. Catherine screamed with a trembling voice. Don't lie. You were troubled because you couldn't have children. I don't care about that anymore, I answered with a sigh. In my life with Jerry, I convinced myself that I had to have children. But life isn't that simple. There are many different people and many different ways to live. I won't suffer by obsessing over having children anymore. So what then? What I did was... Catherine began to tremble violently. I dragged the now immobile Catherine outside the house. Goodbye, Catherine. I closed the door with a bang. After that, Catherine and Jerry got divorced. The DNA test results showed that the child wasn't Jerry's. The news of Catherine and Jerry's affair spread quickly. It was inevitable since they had invited 100 people to their wedding. Jerry and Catherine were fired from their jobs and struggled to find new employment, living a difficult life with day-to-day jobs. I moved away from my hometown to start a new life, in a place without Catherine and Jerry. I plan to forget everything and start over. Today, I'm going to visit a friend's house. They've had a baby. I ring the bell, holding a baby gift in my hand. My friend opens the door with the happiest smile. "Congratulations," I offer sincerely, my heart filled with genuine happiness for them. Thanks for watching. How did you find the story? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more awesome stories like this. Your feedback and support mean a lot.